In agricultural news from agview.net, the National Sorghum Producers Board of Directors recently elected Doug Keesling of Chase as a new board member. Keesling, a fifth-generation farmer from central Kansas, where he grows sorghum, wheat, corn, soybeans, also livestock. Keesling previously has experience not only on the state and national levels with Wheat Growers Organization, also a member of the Trump Agricultural Advisory Committee, also active in the International Grains Program, and many others. Also re-elected for another year as chairman of the NSP Board, Dan Atkission from Stockton in Rooks County. Well, USDA says producers who are currently participating in the federal crop insurance program are in line now for some extra help. Farmers who have had a payable prevented planted indemnity related to flooding or excess moisture or causes other than drought will automatically receive a top-up payment. Producers will get their payments from the approved insurance providers starting in just a few days. Now, producers with the yield protection as well as revenue protection with a harvest price option will get a 10% top-up payment. Producers with revenue protection will receive a 15% top-up. Now, they don't need to sign up to get those payments, as all producers with a 2019 prevented planting indemnity will receive the top-up. The crop insurance industry will deliver those payments as part of the Additional Supplemental Appropriations for Disaster Relief Act of 2019. Now, after these initial payments, any additional ones will be made at the middle of each month as more prevented planting claims will get processed. Well, uncertainty over trade policy, weather, and African Swine Fever dominating agricultural markets over the last quarter. It's causing some greater volatility across an industry that's affecting producers, supply chains, as well as end users. That according to the latest quarterly Rural Economic Review from CoBank's Knowledge Exchange division. Trade negotiation breakthroughs largely remain elusive, and the U.S. agricultural sector preparing for its second consecutive harvest under the shadow of hefty tariffs. Lower feed prices, however, are aiding the animal protein and dairy margins, and the historical late planting of the corn crop has cast a long shadow through the quarter with extremely volatile cash corn prices. End users like ethanol producers and livestock feeders are bidding old crop corn supplies higher in anticipation for a short harvest this fall, with prices falling back to levels seen prior to the spring planting season. Well, farmers continue to hold on to old crop corn supplies and hope that those prices will recover in the months ahead on some local supply shortages. But globally, grain stocks remain ample and are widely expected to dull any significant rally in corn if those harvest reports confirm a smaller than expected U.S. crop. Soybean prices surged late last quarter based on fears of delayed maturity of the U.S. soybean crop and hopes of resuming market access to China. This already volatile U.S. animal protein market also got even more so in the third quarter on nearly every front. Feed cost, capacity disruptions, trade, political disruptions, and the simple macroeconomic outlook. The impact of African swine fever on global pork supplies is just now beginning to be felt in the U.S. animal protein sector. While prices have ridden a roller coaster so far this year based on their expectations, the reality now it's hitting. Trade volume expanding and begin to yield benefits to producers across the meat and poultry industries. The expanding trade volume, along with the signing of some important trade agreements this summer with Japan and Mexico, will also aid in improving the sluggish level of trade flows so far this year. Now, the new trade deal with Japan also lifts some hope of renewed exports, particularly for U.S. beef and pork. Stay with us. We'll have more in a moment.